Hey there, and welcome to the Brand Scoop Live. I'm Heather. I'm the owner and lead creative of Aura Brand Studio, and I help small creative business owners create awesomely authentic digital identities through their branding, web design, and marketing funnels. And I am joined here today with my biz bestie, Carrie. Carrie, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Carrie. I handle the social media, creative, collateral, email, the other bits and pieces that Heather just did not mention that she does. I get to do that. I love being able to jump in and through paid and organic social media, really let our clients voices be heard, their message be clear, and it being very authentic to who they are as small business owners, because that's the key. I always say, Heather, my biggest win is when a client says, my friends don't know it's not me posting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? That's the win. I don't need them to know it's me. So anyway, I love all things social. So, welcome.
Real quick, before we dive into when and when not to chop up babies,
Uh-huh.
if you are joining us and you have a comment, make sure that you are basically we're going live through StreamYard. So make sure that you're allowing StreamYard to show us who you are, because if you make a comment and you have not done that, we won't know who made the comment.
Yeah.
Also, definitely say hi. Let us know of any questions. But yeah, today's topic was rescheduled whenever tech had gone awry, right? That happens sometimes to the best of us.
Correct. We
And
even
we,
were scrambling. Going,
yeah, and
what is
we are going to talk a little bit more about that today.
happening?
So we've been teasing this for a little bit. So it's don't chop up the baby, right? And this was a real world thing that happened. I was on a call with a client, and they were starting a monthly membership offer. They already had a very successful, they still are a very successful jewelry creator. So, right, she sells her handmade jewelry, um, but she was starting more of a membership offer. And the question came up in the conversation, should I start a whole new Facebook page, whole new Instagram, whole new socials for this membership? And I don't know why, but my strange little brain went to this anecdote about chopping up babies, right? So I said, think of your socials, think of your platforms that you're running your digital business on as a baby. And if you take that baby and you chop it in half and it magically becomes two babies, now you have one baby here and you have to keep feeding that baby so it's not screaming, and then you have a second baby and you have to feed it too, right? Because ultimately, when we're talking about digital marketing and generating awareness around your business, it is a thing that constantly needs fed, right?
Yes.
So if you are starting either a secondary business or a kind of like new offer segment that is not quite exactly aligned with your business, a lot of the time for business owners, the question that comes up is whether you should be creating all new socials, all new websites for this particular offer. And realistically, the short answer is only if it has nothing to do with your current business, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Carrie, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I'm going, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, 1000%. If you are a realtor and you were going to start producing earrings, 2 different lanes.
Right.
That's when it's very appropriate to chop up the baby, right?
Yeah.
Because the clients, the followers, the likes, the page likes, they are coming to you under the guise of, this is a real estate agent. She's active in the community. I want that material and that resource and that information. What they don't want now is like, well, why is she selling earrings? They might become a customer, but that's not what they signed up for.
Right.
It's like, it's like when you sign up for something and they're like, we don't sell your information. Well, then all of a sudden, right, like if all of a sudden they pivot, it's that whole bait and switch, and it's just the digital form of it.
Right.
If you have always sold necklaces and now you're adding earrings, same lane, don't chop up the baby.
Right. Right. Or like back to your realtor, right? If that realtor starts offering a one-time purchase digital course that teaches you how to stage your home for home open houses, if you are going to sell your home and you don't want to pay for that service, right? We're not chopping up the baby in that instance, folks. We're
1,000.
keeping that baby together.
That's
So that is something, I think, listen, the digital streets, like building a digital business or a business that heavily relies on social media and having like digital elements and getting exposure for that business is hard enough without creating like a second layer of complication for yourself, a second baby to feed. So I think, that's an instance where we don't want to chop up the baby. You want to keep it as simple and streamlined as you can. Now, on the flip side of that, I think if you've been in the digital marketing space for any amount of time at all, you've probably heard the recent buzz that ClickFunnels is suing Go High Level. These are 2 different funnel building platforms. Go High Level is one that really touts itself as, one-stop shop. You have your website, your funnels, your email marketing, your texting, you can manage clients. There are a lot of digital marketing agencies that will actually white label Go High Level and build out their clients' whole ecosystem under their Go High Level account. But ClickFunnels is now suing Go High Level for basically patent infringement, basically saying that they, swiped their interface, which obviously has a lot of people nervous because that is one of those kind of like double-edged sword things when you're thinking about a lot of people, right? Especially if you're not particularly tech savvy. A one-stop shop, a one-stop solution sounds really good, right? On the face, that's like, ooh, sign me up for that. But whenever it's a platform that ultimately you don't have a ton of control over what happens with them, and nobody knows what's going to happen with this lawsuit at this point, right?
right.
But
Right.
the point is, and people are losing their poop because
Can we say that? Yes, I think we can.
we can say that.
We
I would say worse.
I'm teasing. Yeah, they don't know what to do and they don't know how to handle it. And we've never really been here before.
Yeah. So, right, like I think it's the same as valuable as social media is as a communication channel for your business. It is not the only communication channel that you should be leveraging, right? You shouldn't have all your stuff, right? I feel like we're seeing all of these big shakeups happening in these kind of like tried and true platforms. This shift with Facebook recently, with third-party API going away for groups, that really threw a lot of people into a tailspin because a lot of their paid membership content might be in a private group on Facebook, and not being able to go live in that group is now causing some hiccups, right? So, as a web designer, I work in primarily WordPress and Shopify, because I think those are still kind of like the best solutions if you are doing an e-commerce store. But the reason that I've never really steered my clients towards kind of this one-stop solution on it, first of all, is that oftentimes something that is one-stop can't do everything really well, right? Like you're kind of making some sacrifices a lot of the time for certain things. Whereas if you had, your web platform, then your email marketing platform, then your, let's say, like membership platform, if you had three, oftentimes you're going to have more robust functionality in each of those three arenas, because each of those things has solely focused on developing functionality and all of the code and all of the working back technical magic for that specific function.
You're going to get the best, right? Yep. You get to choose. I know I need to do A, B, C, and D.
Yes.
And there's not one thing that is there. They are the best at A, B, C, and D.
Right.
And so now by kind of knitting together your own set of platforms, you can then find the best for those four things that you need.
Exactly. Yeah. And on top of that, right, with this ClickFunnels Go High Level situation that we're seeing, if something happens and everything about your business sits on one platform and something happens with that platform, you're really up a creek without a paddle. Whereas, if something happens with your email marketing platform, let's say, it's not as big of a shitstorm to deal with if it is, pulling your existing email subscribers down off of that email platform and shifting them over to a new one. Yes, there's going to be some work that goes into it, but it's not your emails, your website, all of your marketing funnels, all of your client contacts, and all of the like automations and everything that you've built into this one platform. I think that's the reason that I've always still had a lot of preference towards WordPress, is because, if you don't like your WordPress host, it's slow or the customer support is bad or whatever, you can take your existing site and move it to a new host. You're not going to lose that site if you decide you no longer want to use that host. Whereas something like Shopify, for example, I still think Shopify is a great e-commerce solution. But if you decide to move from Shopify, you have to completely start over from scratch, because you're not going to be able to just import your site from Shopify. So all things to think about. Anything you want to add, Carrie?
I think to kind of bring it back around, if you don't know, if you're sitting there thinking, well, maybe I did chop up the baby, can I redeem that? Right? Like, can I
sew it back together?
Can I sew it back together? Or
reanimate this baby.
Sorry. That's right. Do I need to keep pushing forward? Like, or I'm getting ready to do this, but I'm unsure. Like, reach out. Like, we can schedule, the three of us or whoever on your team, we can do a strategy call and really help answer and identify what the best practices are and what our suggestions would be within those parameters to make that best for you and your business. Right. And so those are things that we can do. And I think when we talk about, so that's the first thing. But the second thing is, like, don't chop up the baby. I think, and it's seriously, it's not really a pitch, but I think that's why we do what we do well, right? Because we go sit at the table virtually with a client, and we get all of the pieces of the puzzle, right? We're like, okay, what have you got? What's going on? How can we do this? And then between the two of us, because they didn't chop up the baby, they're like, here's the baby. So now Heather and I tag team babysitting, right? But then we have all the material, and we can pull all of those pieces together. So, hey, we're going to have a sale. Let's say this weekend, a Mother's Day sale. So I can do those social with the same collateral that you're using for the hero on the website that we're right. So all of that becomes that seamless thread pulling all of those pieces together.
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
if you do go to those 4 platforms, so you get the best, like we talked about just a few minutes ago, while it feels like chopping up the baby because you have these 4 platforms, by having a team that works well together and can communicate and can bring all the pieces together, that's that through line that makes this one thing with 4 great pillars rather than 4 separate pieces. Does that make right?
Yeah,
like I feel like
absolutely.
all of these, that's why we were so excited to talk about this subject, is because while it still cracks me up, you said to this person, don't chop up the baby. It still makes me laugh out loud. I can't.
I don't know, man.
Brains
I'm like thinking of like Aesop fables. I don't know.
Who knows? But I think that subject line and that turn of phrase is something that really you can grab hold of in a lot of different ways in your business. And those are just a few that once we started giggling after we got done laughing about it, thought, that is really a solid thing. And how many different places do we see people struggle in how to do that, or really understand what that means, or what the best way to and
I think like this is another part of that. Like I think sometimes we find that people get very nervous about talking to their audience on their social platforms and in their email marketing about the same topic over and over again. And I think sometimes that's why they're like, well, I'm just going to go start this Facebook page specifically about this thing. But like, we promise you, not a single person in your audience is seeing every single thing that you put out.
That's right.
In email or social. And so, it's like, that's what we work with our clients on, is like understanding the whole picture, so that we can take all of those big primary focus pillars and chunk them up into pieces, and then create a whole like tapestry of communication that's going out through these different channels. In a way that doesn't feel like we're slamming people over the head up with things. But even if we did talk about something 5 days in a row, not every single person in your audience is going to see every single one of those.
That's right. That's right. Listen, McDonald's still spends millions of dollars a year to advertise their French fries.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know they like McDonald's French fries, right? But they still buy commercial space. They still buy billboards. They still do print collateral. They still do digital, because you got to keep it in front of people. You got to keep it, because you don't know when they're going to see it and when they're going to want it and when they're going to need it. The same thing is true in the digital landscape.
Right. Which is why you don't want to chop up the baby, because it's going to be way easier to generate enough content to keep things actually showing up for people in their feeds, in their email inbox, if you only are targeting that one location, right?
That's
like it just becomes an unwieldy monster if you're trying to post. Now, with that being said, if you are creating a whole second, totally different business, that is what you are signing up for when you do that. So
that's right.
That's
right. Which is, it can be great, right?
Right.
If you're passionate about it, run like the wind, bullseye, but you don't have to feel like, well, how, and don't put in the time to go, well, but how could I connect this with this already, with this group I already have X number of, that's not what they signed up for. Right. So like I said, if you want to discuss it and book that call and let us talk through that with you, we'd love it. We loved it. Like I said, that's why we started this, right, Heather? Like we sit and talk about this stuff ad nauseum. So like,
yes. And I offer, if you are in this space where you are truly at the starting point, or you've grown organically and you have ended up in a situation where it is a quagmire, I do offer a paid tech stack recommendation session where basically you walk away, we have a full strategy conversation. You walk away with a recommendation and a price breakdown comparing basically like 3 different options that would suit your specific business needs, right? Because that's the other thing that maybe is a good thing to bring up here is a lot of the time, especially being, like a tech support type person in some of these larger Facebook business groups, a lot of the time there's a lot of crowdsourcing for like what thing is best. And ultimately there isn't going to be a one best solution for everyone. It's totally down to your business, what you want to offer 5 years from now, and how you want to serve that offering to your clients and customers.
Yep.
So,
yep. Love it. Don't chop up the baby. Like, listen, the fact that it fell the Friday before Mother's Day, the irony is not lost on me.
Yeah, that it just accidentally shifted. So listen, moms, have a great Sunday. I hope that you get whatever you want, because I think sometimes that doesn't happen. And may your baby stay fully intact.
We want that. We really want that for everyone. We really do. Yeah. We really do. Okay. Thanks, girl.
Yeah. Thanks for showing up. And let's see. I think next time, I cannot remember.
May 24th, 12 noon, just like this.
I'm trying to remember what our topic is for next time. I believe we are going to touch upon audience size and launch expectations. If I'm remembering correctly, that could be the next one though. Let's see. Nope. Next time we're going to be talking about first impressions.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. Hello, my name is.
Impressions in the business space and what things can play a role in that, right? So that'll be a fun one. And then it is, I believe, the one after that. We will be talking about audience size versus launch expectations. So we hope
we'll be doing some math. We'll be doing some math that day.
Yeah. Yes, we will. Get your little pens and papers ready.
That's right. That's right. And if you all have something that you want us to talk about, we are schedule people. The people who know us know this is very accurate. So we have like 6 months mapped out, but we can pivot. Or take 10 minutes at the end,
right?
Right. Or take 10 minutes at the end and go, hey, we've got this question. Let's discuss it. We're like, for sure. There's not chances are we've probably already talked about it. So, but we love it. So reach out, let us know, and yeah, have a great weekend.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms of all varieties.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Have a
All
great
right.
Friday, everybody.
Bye.